Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's another Thursday night. It's another round of the Sim Racing Team Challenge, the STC, brought to you live this night from the virtual track of Mugello in Italy, the Blue Flags Racing home track. And I'm your friendly voice, Eckhard von Glan, and with me tonight, Andreas Holtgreen.
Hello, everyone.
And our magic guy, suffering through all the technology, it is Jose Estrada. Hi, Jose.
Hello, good night, everybody.
And also with us tonight, David Garcia of the Black Rebels. Hi, David.
No, he's not, because he's taking care of the safety car today.
And he better should. Well, there you go. It's the Blue Flag Racing Home Grand Prix here. It's the 7th round of the Sim Racing Team Challenge. It's a track that not many people know. It's mainly the MotoGP that's practicing here and running here. And it's also the Ferrari home track, so whenever Ferrari has a new car and makes, they put it on track first here. We'll give you a lap around the track in the next few minutes. But right now, let's take a quick look at the standings so far. And it's very close up there, isn't it, Andreas?
Oh, it definitely is, with the three teams, Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, DHR Grand Prix, and Roaring Pipes Maniacs, all within 11 points. So it's really, really tight up there in the battle for the championship.
And the best thing is, it's only 4 races to go. This one here, and then race number 8, 9, and 10. Danielsson at 265. DHR GP, 3 points down at 262. The Roaring Pipes Maniacs, 254. And then really a gap opening there to the Black Visor Motorsports at 206. But they're in heavy contention with FlatOut Racing. So only 8 points between those two, FlatOut with 198, and then the Project D, one of the new teams here on the grid, doing very well indeed with 187 in position number 6. Danielsson Motorsports Virtual 2, position number 7 with 178, and then the Black Rebels in 8 with 147. Those are the teams that have scored more than 100 points so far. However, let's not forget, also with us, Team GG, Blue Flag Racing, that's my home team, the DHR Fanatec, and the FlatOut Club, the 2 junior teams there, and also Amy Racing, who again have put 2 cars on the grid tonight. Well then, Andreas, should we tell the guys who won the qualifying?
Yeah, you do that, Eckhart.
It's a pleasure, because we have Mr. Roland Ehnström of Danielsson Motorsports with an absolutely breathtaking lap of 149.213. He was more than half a second ahead of Mike Simian of FlatOut, who is no slow racer, let me tell you that. So a very clear sweep here by Mr. Ehnström. And in 3 we have the first of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs races, Rami Kaukola, and then the second Roaring Pipes guy, Marcin Spritchak in 4, followed by the second of the Danielsson Motorsports in 5, and that's Fredrik Tackman. So, it's Danielsson Motorsports who are leading the pack, but Roaring Pipes Maniacs are close, and as you can imagine, DHR GP are not far behind, because Jack Keithley was in 6. We are up for a huge battle up front. Well, Jose, should we show the tracks to our viewers next?
Yeah, sure. I think we can make a lap with Polman if he is outside.
He definitely is. He's in position 25 in the warm-up. And we might just join him in the ride, and you tell me when the camera is on.
Okay, we will be ready in 1 minute, because we have a small technical problem, but we will solve it.
Not to worry. While Jose is solving, as usual, in a perfect manner, the technical problems, let me quickly introduce our sponsors to you. It's Sim Boots. They're producing shoes, especially for sim racing. They fit your feet like a glove, they say. You can put in different textured material and different points so that your toe and techniques are all perfect. We also have GameHosters.net, who provide the brilliant servers that we use here, which are running absolutely flawlessly. And then we also have pikespeak.com, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a competition, isn't it? Andreas, do you know anything about it?
To be honest, I'm quite badly up to date on that one, but I think it's a virtual Pikes Peak team time kind of competition.
Sounds like it. Yeah, I think it runs on R Factor, and maybe if Jose finds some time, he can tell us about it in 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah, definitely. He knows more about it than I do, fortunately.
Yeah, so we'll keep you up to date on that one, folks. Jose is still battling with the technology. Let me tell you a few quick facts here about the track. It's 5.245 kilometers long, which is average racetrack length, I would say. It's northeast of Florence, quite close really to Florence, and also quite close to Imola. And it has an equal distance of straights and turns. That really is depending on where you start measuring what is a turn and what is a straight. So many turns on this one. It's 15 turns to be quite precise. And the little note I liked most on their homepage is that when they advertise the track, of course, also for club races and stuff. And it says here that on the venue you will at every time of the day find doctors skilled in resuscitation. Andreas, you think we need them tonight?
I hope not.
Neither do I, but it's only virtual here. And folks, you'll have to forget about that lap, I promise you, because we are already joining the grid now for the race. It's only 1 minute and 45 to go. So let me quickly tell you who is on the grid tonight. No broadcast at the moment. Brilliant, brilliant. Just for a quick moment I thought we'd lost the broadcast, but I'm still with you folks, and that is the most important thing on a Thursday night, isn't it? Well, there you are then. The teams on the grid are Amy. They are fielding Darren Gardner and Nick Carnell. FlatOut Racing in the yellow, brilliant Porsches. They field Mike Simian and Lee Ross. The FlatOut Juniors are here with us with Adam Shaw and a new name. I suppose from one of the Baltic states, it's Adrius Balnaitis. Then the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, Rami Kaukola and Marcin Skripczak. The Project D. New team this season in white, blue and red Porsches, because they're also a Francophone team, and they field Sébastien Levray and Grégory Sogotti. In the Team GG, the second of the Francophone teams who've been with us from the very, very first race way back, it's Paul Bordeaux and Rodolphe Morin, so one of the fast Morin brothers on the track here for you. The Black Rebels, who started it all way back, they field Michael Hellen, and for the first time this season, Wietse Visser, who was doing the pace car last race, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. In their first team, that's the red and black BMWs. It's Roland Ehnström, the pole sitter and the reigning world champion of touring car racing, virtual touring car racing, and Fredrik Tackman. For the team Danielsson Motorsports 2, that's the green and black Corvettes. That's Jon Westerlund and Johan Pessola. Then we have DHR GP. That's Jack Keithley in the blue and black Corvette, and also Damien Dane-Humain. For their junior team, the Fanatec Racing, they sport silver and blue Porsches. It's Tim Brook, that's also a new name to me, and Ryan Mortimer. We just see the pace car moving to the front of the grid, so the in-lap is on the way. Sorry, it's the out-lap. The outlap is on the way, so it's about 2 to 3 minutes to the start. But let me quickly have finished this rundown of who is on the grid tonight. It's the Black Visors. And they are fielding also a new guy, Lee Downham, professional photographer, if I'm not mistaken, and Johannes Norberg, who I think has also not been on the grid before. And then my own team, the Blue Flag Racing Team, Christopher Larsson Jr., in a car designed by Larsson Sr., and it's also a Corvette, black this season, and Konrad Stanczak from Poland for you and for the Blue Flag Racing. A quick prediction from you, Andreas. Will we see another Ehnström festival here?
Well, there's always the possibility of that happening, but during qualifying and also during the warm-up, the drivers were fairly close. I think 6-7 drivers within a second, which bodes well. And also the track is very fluently. You really have to nail your line through this track, and it's also quite slippery, despite it, as you can see, being sunny. So I think we'll see a good race.
Yeah, you talk about the fluency of the track. That's the thing that I noticed when I was doing a few laps yesterday night to check out our home venue, actually. It's one of these tracks where if you miss the line in T1 or T2, you still suffer from it in T7 and T8, don't you?
No, definitely. I mean, if you get it right, then it feels good. But if you miss something, then I mean, you can lose a second in 5 meters on this track. So it's very important to get the line right and try to do it for 90 minutes. It will be difficult.
Yeah, and it'll probably show Mr. Ehnström's outstanding talent if he's able to pull that one off. And I also have the feeling that the Corvette, I mean, we have the fastest Corvette in position number 6. That is a rare view here because we really have some great Corvette teams on the grid here. So I have the feeling that the BMW is the slightly better virtual ride here. As you say, it's slippery, and I find it extremely difficult to nail the exits on this track with the Corvette.
Yeah, the Corvette usually tends to step out in the corners, and when you put the throttle down, and apparently it might not be the best car for this circuit.
Yeah, don't ask us why we chose it. I think it was mainly for the good weather. But no, we all love the, as you said, the fluency of the track. It is really a racer's track, isn't it? I mean, you don't really have very much time to set up the next corner, and this will also mean, I don't know about overtaking. What do you think? Is it a track that's good for overtaking?
Well, we have one really good position on corner on the track where you can overtake, and that's obviously into turn 1, following the long straight, and maybe a couple of more places, but I think we will see most of the passes done in turn 1.
Alright, and we approach that turn now as the racers approach the start and finish line, and the race is almost about to start. No, it looks as if we have another lap, because there is an Eni racer stuck on the grid, folks. We just saw it slipping by. I hope nobody crashes into it in the back there. And there seems to be a problem for one of the Eni racers. Let me quickly check out who that is. It seems to be Darren Gardner. And poor Darren is in the pits now, so he already had to leave the race. There must have been a problem with joining the race, so we have another lap here to go with David Garcia in the pace car, and that really gives me the time to tell you a little bit about the track. As I see it, we're just out of T1 here. We're approaching T2 and 3, which is a left-right combination called Luco and Peggio Secco. T3 actually is the highest point of the track, and it then drops down some astounding 40 meters to the lowest point, which is T8. And out of T3 you have that was T5 we were just getting out, the Borghe San Lorenzo, which is a town just close. Now we're into Casanova, and then left-hander Cord Savelli. Especially here you tend to get to take it a little wide sometimes, and then you end up on the grass. And now we're into the first of the two Arrabbiatas. There's huge discussion whether this is actually one turn or two turns. They're quite far apart, so it's at least a double apex turn. Now we're at the lowest point, and the track begins to climb again. Arrabbiata 2, we're out of that one. And we're approaching the tightest of the right-left combinations, or left-right combinations. This is called T10 and 11, Scarperia and Palagio. And especially here, if you brake too late, you're in more trouble than braking a little early and taking a really smooth line. We're now approaching T12, which is the one that you really need to find a good exit because it really takes care of the rest of the tracks, 13, 14 and 15. It's called Correntaio. It's another 180-degree turn. We have 3 of those on the track. That's the first one actually, T12. Now we have a really quick chicane here, 13 and 14. It's called Biondetti. It's the closest right left-hander together, so they actually only get one name, T13 and 14. And now it's up to 15, called Bucine, and it's a bit more than 180 degrees actually. I suppose it looks like something like a 200 degrees turn here. And so here we will see most of the racers taking a line not really on the curves on the inside, but slightly to the outside. And now they are out on the start and finish straight. And let's see if David is putting the pace car into the pits. Yes, he is. And so with Mr. Ehnström crossing the line, the race will be off. And there they go, already some action there with the DHRP racer attacking the second of the Danielsson Motorsport. Ehnström into turn 1 with a good lead and an attack there by the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. An attack by Kaukola on Mike Simian, and he actually got past. Can Mike Simian pass him again? No, he can't. And also in the back there, Keithley stays behind the DHR driver he was attacking. But Ehnström still in front. Ehnström and Kaukola in 2. Mike Simian in 3. Skripczak stuck to his 4th position. And in position number 5, Fredrik Tackman under heavy attack from Jack Keithley. Keithley almost with his nose in the rear parts here of Fredrik Tackman of his BMW. But let's see if he can pass him in the first lap. Andreas, did you notice any little crashes, any incidents down the grid? To me it all looked very fair and clean.
Yeah, everything worked out in the start. I think a couple of touches here and there. I think Jack Keithley got a couple of touches by Fredrik Tackman, or if it was vice versa, but everything seems to have gone smooth.
Great, and now they're for the first time the first of the 180 degrees. That's Correntaio. And Ehnström in the lead, I wouldn't say comfortably. We've seen races where at this point already the guy had pulled away and Kaukola stays on. Notice they have the same virtual ride, so they share the same physical layout here in the game. And Simian can hold on, and also Skripczak can follow them. It's really close up front. And as I told you, they're taking a really wide line here. It might tempt somebody to try an inside line and to slip past. Ehnström has finished the first lap, Kaukola in 2. And Keithley now is under attack by Norgren. Keithley under attack by Black Visor racer Norgren, and Keithley a little slide into the turn. In position 6 and 7 here, Keithley under heavy pressure, and in position number 8 we see the second of the DHR GP, that's the team boss himself, Damien Danielsson, and he gained some position. I think he was in 10th qualifying, so he's up 2 places, 2 spots already. Must have had a really great first lap. Keithley, who is trying to get past Fredrik Norgren, is now under attack by Johannes Norberg of the Black Visor Motorsports. And that is the closest battle at the moment, I think.
Yeah, Keithley just pulling away a couple of meters now. But behind these 2 we have Damien Danielsson and Sebastian Levray fighting it really hard. And Danielsson really needs to watch out, as Levray is really close.
Yep. They nearly touched here in the closest of the left-right combinations, and Danielsson must have slipped past, and I think Levray wants to regain that position. The first really large gap is then between positions 9 and 10, isn't it? Livray, and then there's a bit of a gap there to whoever is falling behind. Danielsson now out on the grass a little. That happens a lot, and of course you lose speed in the run up to this final turn here. And Danielsson with a wild slide. I wonder about his exit speed if he goes that slide in the turn there, but it looks sweet. He actually came out pretty much on top, and he has gained a little on Livray. And after Livray, it's a tight pack led by the second of the FlatOut cars, led by Lee Ross. And now Danielsson is running wide. Danielsson is running wide in T1, and Livray is closing in, but he has trouble on the exit. So Danielsson then closed the gap again, could pull it in, and Livray, in order not to crash into him, I think had to pull back a little. But that is a huge fight here for position 8 and 9 in lap number 3 of the Mugello Grand Prix.
Yeah, there's also a big fight between 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, where Mikael Helm for TBR just passed one of the GT fellows, and that's Paul Bordeaux who he got past. But they are really close here. Going down one of my favorite parts of the circuit, turns 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, where you really need to stay on the line.
Yep, that's the two Arabiatas, which are hell to take. Really, if you lose it there, also there's a huge runoff area, and you can just like lose 10 seconds easily. And there we are, as you say, great fighting here, the two Ferraris, Mikael Helm in 16, Paul Bordeaux in 17, and then followed by Beemer in the second Black Rebel Ferrari in 18, and my do these Italian racers look great here on an Italian track.
Oh, definitely. They definitely belong to a track like this one. As I said before, it's one of Ferrari's official test tracks, so just hope they can get up the order a little bit.
Yep, it seems that the Ferrari that we introduced here in the mod this year is not really fully competitive, isn't it?
No, I don't know, it's supposed to have the Corvette physics, but I think it's there is something that makes it go a little bit slower than the Corvette.
Yep.
But things will change for next season, that's for sure.
There's hope for TBR on the horizon. That's always a good sign. Yeah, I agree with you. I've also tried out the Ferrari, and we're doing the Corvette in our team. So I cannot at all believe it's got the basic Corvette physics. It's just a completely different feel. And to me, I don't know why the sound is perfect, but the whole ride feels kind of muted in a way. It doesn't feel really aggressive at all.
Nah, well, when it doesn't go well, I always blame the car, but this time I really think it's true. We, as a team, we wanted to be higher up the grid this year, but well, life's a pain, and this year we have been struggling really hard.
Well, but you've been putting on a good show for the viewers, haven't you? And so have Team GG, who have also been struggling in the Ferrari. But they're a pleasure to watch both the racers and the virtual ride. We've seen some great races by Andreas Leffler, full of incidents, poor chap, but always good viewing that. And right now here, we've seen some really clean lines by Mikael Helm, nailed the exit here absolutely perfectly. And he is in fact approaching that Porsche there, that Fanatec Porsche, and that is none other than Ryan Mortimer. Front of him, and he might try to do something in this lap or the next lap, I suppose.
Yeah, trying to get into the slipstream a little bit, but I think he's a bit too far behind. Though he's getting a little bit closer into turn 1, but
Yep, and notice, he's close. Nah, he's sliding now. He's trying to still do something on the inside. No, that doesn't work. But that was a great maneuver here. He was, well, half passed, and then he drew back. He lost control a little, I think, due to that maneuver, but caught it brilliantly, and then really nearly had a chance to slip past on the inside. So great racing here by the Black Rebels, and I'll keep you informed about, while we still have the camera trained on that here, I'll keep you informed about the positions at the top so you don't lose any of the action at the top. It's still Roland Ehnström in position number 1, Rami Kaukola a little bit behind now, Mike Simian in 3, Martin Skupchak in 4, Fredrik Tackman in 5, and Jack Keithley in 6. We haven't really lost out on anything there, and they are a bit more evenly spaced out now. There's not really any close battle there, so we might just as well stay with the Ferraris and pick any of the other fights. Andreas, have you spotted another fight? I think there's one for 18 and 19.
There might be one for 18 and 19, but I'm focusing on the one between 22nd and 23rd, Rodolphe Morin and Konrad Stanchak. They are really
great to see blue flaggers. Yeah, let's go there. Positions 22 and 23.
Yes, just want to say Mikael finally passed Paul.
Oh, too bad. And did we show it?
Yes, thanks to me.
You're an expert, and right now I hope you don't show Konrad Stanchak because he has a little off moment in T1. He has been really pressuring Rodolphe Morin and the other Team GG Ferrari, but right now he had to take a little turn off the track, and he is back on track, of course, but Monsieur Morin is a little has slipped away a little to Konrad Stanchak. Stanchak also running the Formula One series on race department with great success in the second field, actually. Do you have any of the blue flaggers in that Formula One series, Andreas?
I think you meant the Black
Sorry,
Rebels.
yeah, I meant the Black Rebels, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, we have. I think we have one team. One team. Weed Twister, who is in this race, and also Evil Simmons, who is racing in that one, the Division 2 series, and with the Spiker car.
Ah, okay. I see that orange one that dropped out after I think only about a year in the real Formula One day.
Yep. So we have
go ahead.
Now I was saying we have a big fight for 19th, 20 and 21st position. Lee Downham, Gregory Colotti and Adam Shaw.
Well, didn't I say so? And there we are. It's Downham in 19. He's having his work cut out for here. Gregory Colotti in 20 and Adam Shaw in 21. I was on the server last night with Lee, and he was telling me that he'd just been informed he'd be racing like 2 days or so ago. So basically he came on the server yesterday just to learn the track, and he's doing a brilliant job just for that and keeping the others at bay. And some nice racing here by Mr. Downham, but also great job by that Project D racer there, Monsieur Chugotti. He's now in the slipstream, Downham taking a defensive maneuver. And the FlatOut Junior there just, I think at the moment, just watching what's going on in front and hoping that he can be the lucky third in this battle. Chugotti now not taking any risks in T1. He might have another spot on his mind where he might slip past. It might be that with Downham not being so accustomed to the track, he has one or two places where Chugotti can get a bit closer.
Kogotti needs to watch out for Adam Shaw now. It's really, really close.
It is, and Shaw is hot on the heels of Chugotti here. Shaw for the FlatOut Juniors in the Mosler. That's another one that can be really awful to handle, but I guess it's quite a good ride for Mugello. Now they're into that slowest of the right-left kinks. And Chugotti again really, really close, so he might try something in the run-up to T15, to the last corner. If he can get really close now and then take a good line through that next chicane, through Biondetti, he might be able to pull it off, taking an inside line in the last turn. Let's see.
Now the thing about the last... Ooh, it's getting really close.
And there we go. Little touch. Where's Mr. Downham? He is off, and Chugotti goes off too. Gentleman racing here by Monsieur Chugotti. He lets Downham recover the track and joins him afterwards. And didn't I say Mr. Shaw was waiting? Mr. Shaw was waiting, and he was the lucky third in this duo, in this trio. And Shaw now in 19, Downham in 20, Chugotti in 21, and we just saw somebody coming out of the pits in the back there. Or was that Downham taking a defensive line again? No, it was Downham. Sorry, mates, it was Downham. I thought we already had somebody in the pits.
Well, Eckhart, talk a little bit about the last turn here. It's you really want to push hard into the last turn to get good speed out of it onto the long straight, especially if you are behind somebody. And I think Chugotti thought he had the opportunity to do so, but as I said earlier, before the race started, the track is really slippery, and it's something weird about the last corner. It's almost like it's off camera going into it, and if you get it offline there, you will go off into the gravel.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do, isn't there? I went off there a couple of times yesterday night, and if you just botch the entry, a little bit, and you really have to be an absolutely fantastic sim racer to still catch your virtual right there. It just goes off, as you say. There's pretty little you can do, at least for guys like me. And here we are with Ryan Mortimer, followed very, very closely by Savisser in the Black Rebels Ferrari, and we're approaching T1, that turn that Andreas was talking about, and Beemer tries to squeeze past, and he manages, but can he pull it off? Mortimer does that oldest of tricks, but Visser can stay on. Brilliant maneuver here by Beemer. We talked about him earlier. He did the safety car last race. He's also doing a Formula One sim racing challenge in the race department, and right now he has gone sneak past Ryan Mortimer. In fact, that was a great maneuver here. So you see there's lots of action in the positions, I would say like 14 and then all the way down the grid to 24. I will keep you updated on the action at the front, folks. Don't worry, you'll lose none of the action at the front. It's still Mr. Ehnström in position number 1, followed by Rami Kaukola. The difference is, I would say, something like 2 to 3 seconds. Mike Simian, pretty close to Kaukola actually, maybe only a second behind. Then Marcin Skripczak, and then Fredrik Tackman following Skripczak closely. So Skripczak is a guy under pressure here in 4, under pressure from Tackman, and also Kaukola under pressure from Simian. Jack Keithley for DHR GP. It looks as if Corvettes can basically today just try to hold on and try to keep the pace, but it doesn't look as if the DHR team can actually attack tonight, because Keithley has a bit of a gap opening in front. He is something like, I would say like 3 to 4 seconds down, but there's a huge gap behind Keithley. We have Johannes Norberg in 7, and still battling with Damien Desnumain in 8, and Sébastien Levray in 9, and then Lee Ross in 10 for the FlatOut Racing. Jose, could we move to positions 11 and 12, because there's an interesting fight there?
Sure.
And there we are, it's John Westerlund of the Danielsson Motorsport Team 2, who is under intense pressure here by Tim Brook for the DHR Fanatec. So it's 2 junior teams fighting here, and Tim is really looking for a way past. He's all over the place. He's showing his ride on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, and I think basically trying to make John Westerlund nervous, but we've seen other performances by Westerlund. There's very little that makes Mr. Westerlund nervous. Is that a natural trait for you, Swede, Andreas?
I'm probably the only person to ask. If I'm ahead of somebody, I get really, really nervous.
Well, so do I, and I'm anyway, see Tim Brook here trying, desperately to get past. We have seen this Porsche slide all over the place, and in this case it's Johan Pesula and Christopher Larsson for the blue flag, who are the guys behind who are watching, and it's also Mikael Hellen, another Swede. So we have like a whole bunch of Swedish racers here. Hellen from Sweden, Larsson from Sweden, Johan Pesula, I suppose, also from Sweden if he's with Danielsson Motorsports, and then John Westerlund. So a bit like a Trey Coners show here. Tim Brook, the only guy not from Sweden that we watch at the moment, and he has now lost contact a little to Westerlund, and it's Pesula who's trying to get past Brook now, and Brook approaching T1, and Pesula trying to put it off on the inside. Late break point there for Pesula, but Brook takes a very, very tight line on the inside and manages to do that perfectly. They're into 2 and 3 now, Luco and Peggio Secco, and Pesula has to let it go for the moment.
Danielsson Motorsport Virtual 2, as they call them, the green cars, or the green team, as they compared to the first team have a green doors on the car instead of red. They got off to a really good start of the season and dropped back a little bit the last couple of races here, but still very much in contention for top 10 positions. But I think they have settled in a little bit compared to the beginning of the season.
Yep, I was quite surprised by the speed they showed in the first 1 or 2 races, and also they've had their share of bad luck, haven't they? They've had 1 or 2 DNFs along the way due to problems both in the game and out of the game. So, but you're right. I also see that they seem to have settled in for positions like between 8 and 15. So, as blue flaggers, our fastest guys are really up to their speed, and you can see Christopher Larsson here in the back showing a great race in position number 14, and he's under pressure from Mikael Hellen, but knowing Mikael, that pressure won't lead to any dramatic incidents here, but possibly Larsson feels the heat, and right now they are on the straight, approaching T1, very close to each other, and Hellen tries it on the inside. Hellen on the inside, Larsson trying again to take that line on the inside, but Hellen pulled past. That was a great move here, I must admit, against my teammate, and Hellen now passed Larsson, and with the pace he has, Mikael Hellen, at this point in the race, he seems to have a perfect tire temperatures. He might just as well move up a little. What do you think?
Well, Mikael is a calculating driver, so I think he will pick them off 1 by 1 now. No, I'm just kidding, but I think if he can get a little carried away. Yeah, if he gets close to Pesula, then I think he will make an attack, of course, but Westerlund is off track, and Pesula hits Brook a little bit.
Ooh, lots of action here, so Brook really slow now, Westerlund back on track, Hellen trying to take advantage as well as he can, but not doing any dramatic moves, as we just mentioned. That's not the Hellen we know. He stays behind, but now he moves on the inside, and I tell you, he can definitely pull that one off, because Brook has to take the wider line on the outside. Having said so, Brook is now on the inside position for the next turn, and he manages, fantastic sim racing here by Hellen and Brook. Very well done, and Larsson close behind. Westerlund has picked up the speed, and now Larsson tries something on the inside.
Brook.
He might just try to take a very, very close line, but Hellen closes the door. Hellen closes the door respectfully, but very securely, and he's out of the turn with some great speed. That was absolutely close in preparation, but Brook got off, didn't he?
Yeah, he got off in the last corner, just as was it Stansack who did it before?
It was, yeah, he did, yep.
Yeah, so after some really great defending there by Brook, he squeezed Mikael a little bit, but of course, according to the rule book, and Mikael had to drop off the pace a little bit, and Swede then makes a mistake into the last corner, which is very easy to do, but
it doesn't have, there seems to be something like a bad omen on this last turn, doesn't it?
yeah. If I were the guys on track, I would just stay behind the car and then try to do something else on the other parts of the track.
Yep, definitely not, seems to be that T15 is definitely not the place to do any experiments. While we're speaking, while you're watching this great fight there for positions 11, 12 and 13, let me give you the update that Mr. Ehnström is right now passing through T15, still in position number 1. Kaukola following him in 2, Mike Simian. Following again Kaukola, a little bit further down the line actually. Then marching Skripchak, a bit of a distance already to Mike Simian. Skripchak followed very closely by Tackman in 5, and Jack Heathley is a long way behind these guys in 6, and then another long distance opening up to the first of the Black Visors, Johannes Norberg. So that's just your quick update on the battle at the front.
Eckhart, we have a bit of a fight between Sebastian Levray and Damien Danielsson, which I think Levray just passed Damien.
Okay, so let's join them. They're into T1 as you're speaking. Danielsson in 9 and Sebastian Levray in 8. And yes, they were the other way around, weren't they, before? So it might just be that the Porsche is a bit better once the tires get going. I mean, we've almost done the first three-quarter hour of the race. Time flies by again at the STC. So pit stops might be around the corner. What would you say?
Still a bit too early, I think. The 45-minute mark is 10 minutes away, and going, what is it, 55 minutes on one set of tires, I think it's a bit too much.
Yep, you're right, definitely. I just had a little problem here with my internal watch, I think. It showed that we had 43 minutes already done, but as you say, 35 minutes is definitely correct. So we've done the first third of the race. We've seen some great action all along this beautiful track in Italy, and we just now see Monsieur Levray pulling away easily, I'm afraid, from a great racer like Damien Danielsson. And Danielsson now in T15 and coming out of T15, headlights on. And he's of course sporting one of our sponsor logos on the backside of his DHR GP ride on the Corvette, and that's the Simboot logo. So let me remind you that they support our series here, just as the GameHosters.net do, who provide us with the server technology, and Pikespeak.com does. And Jose, now might be the time to tell us what exactly is Pikespeak.com.
Well, it's hillclimb.countrychristmas.com. It's a sim race in Hillclimb, the virtual version of the mythic Pikes Peak in Colorado in the United States, and it's going to be a great event in Pordenone in the northeast of Italy. This Christmas inside an American culture fair, and well, they will organize their championship with prizes and I think a lot of fun. But the best option is to take a look to the website and get more info there.
Okay, can you give us that address again?
Yeah, sure. It's hillclimb.countrychristmas.eu, European Union. Sorry, not .com. European Union, EU.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's a massive thing. What are you doing in the north of Italy? You're Spanish, aren't you?
Yes, I am, but I used to work really international because, well, I have a teacher there, and I do some of my work in Italy and also in Spain, and when I can, I like to travel, so I try to work around.
Okay, so that brings us there, and you keep us up informed on that as the season progresses. Is it a one-off event, as in you do this one massive big thing with like 200, 300 racers or so? Is it like a series?
No, it's an event during the fair days. It's 4 days, but it's just the best time wins. You can go there and try, and if you make the best time, you win. You have travel, you have sim racing stuff, a lot of different prizes.
Oh, brilliant! And the underlying machine is R Factor, isn't it?
Yes, it's R Factor, but with driving Italia, a professional cockpit. So it will be really interesting.
All right, well, back to the race then. And Jose, should we have one of our famous rundowns and start right at the back?
Well, I think Andreas pointed us to P4, and in fact there is a good fight between Martin Schrittbach and Danielsson Motorsport car.
And that is
okay, and there we are, yeah.
Tackman.
It is Tackman and Skripczak, both of them in BMWs. Again, it's a very interesting. If you have them on the screen, it looks like one of these cup races, doesn't it? And so they're really close, and Tackman has been gaining on Skripczak a little, and they both seem to struggle with tires. I've seen them both slide a little, going into the turns, going out of the turns, and well, we're just like 3 to 5 minutes away from the pit stop, so pit strategy might play a role here in this duel. From the season so far, is it right that I have noticed the Danielsson Motorsports tend to pit rather a little later than the others?
No. I think you're wrong there. If you remember, Roland Ehnström pitting 1 lap ahead of... who was it?
Was it at the Nürburgring?
Yeah, exactly. He pitted 1 lap ahead of Peter Dwivlar, I think it was. And he came out like 20 seconds or something ahead of him, when it was only maybe 5 seconds between them ahead of the pit stops. So I think we will see Fredrik Tackman in before Martin pits. That's my opinion at least.
Yeah, brilliant input. And so let's see how that works out here at the track. We have a bit of a dangerous pit exit, don't we?
Wow. I don't know if everybody just be careful when they pass the pit exit, and I think everybody will survive that one.
Yep, it leads quite straight onto the tarmac of just in front of T1, or sorry, not in front of, but just approaching T1 there. And but there's nothing like a line on the track as you have, for example, at Monza, so that you kind of separate the guys getting out of the pits and the guys that are still on the track. So I suppose, as you say, if everybody just stays to the right-hand side of the track, everything should be fine.
Yep. Also, we have a big fight now between Johan Pesela and Mikael Hellen for P11. And Hellen is going out, looking on the outside and then to the inside of turn 1, and he is making the move. Or is he braking too early? Late, I mean. Well, he braked a little bit too late and has to settle in a bit behind Pesela again.
Okay.
But the fight for P11 continues.
another big fight here. Lee Ross for the team FlatOut is chasing Danielsson, and watch that Corvette in the turns here. It's all over the place. Danielsson obviously huge problems keeping his virtual racer here on the best line, and I would say it's only a matter of time before that FlatOut Porsche finds the brake that he needs to slip past. And now the first guys are in fact picking because they've just won one position, and I think I saw a red and black BMW there in the back. But now Danielsson is running wide. This might be the opening. Ooh, that was close. Danielsson is closing down. Sorry, not closing down, but slowing down. What about my English tonight? Anyway, he's slowing down there dramatically so Lee Ross can actually slip past. I think that was a bit of a courtesy move there by Danielsson because they touched there as Danielsson almost lost control of the Corvette, and now Lee Ross is past. Lee Ross up in position number 8. And Andreas, can you confirm who that racer was who was pitting so early?
Yeah, that was Fredrik Tackman, and we also have both of the DMSv 2 guys in, Pesula and Westerlund, and also with Mugello, right. So the pit stop is coming in.
Yeah, so I was dead wrong. They're pitting way earlier than all the others.
Yep.
Well, they're Swede, so you better know what they do.
But I think it's a smart move to pit now. Coming up out on fresh rubber, and basically you can go a bit faster these laps, and then when the others comes in, then you will have lost the position maybe. So good choice by the guys pitting.
Yeah, I suppose so. And it also, to me, at least from watching this, it seems as if the virtual rides, especially on, as you said, the slippery track here at Mugello, they seem to burn through their tires quite differently. Some of them still show very consistent, very clean lines, while others are really all over the place, with the players obviously at a very high level of sim racing, trying to just stay in control of their rides. I just now saw one of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs sitting in the pit, so Mr. Ross is up to number 7.
Yeah, my script track is in the pit, and he's coming up right now, so maybe one left light. And also Mikael Hellen in the pits, and also Christopher Larsson. So also down the grid, guys are pitting. Paul Bordeaux is coming into the pits here for Team GG. So plenty of action at this moment in the pits. Oh, it's getting close. Okay, I was just talking about Skripczak and Tackman, and who would come out ahead of the other one, and actually they came together into turn 1 of the Skripczak's pit stop, and Tackman just made his way through with an enormous side.
Oh, brilliant. So Tackman is now passed?
Yeah, but not by much.
Just now exiting the pits is Mikael Hellen and Christopher Larsson, and they were a bit apart going into the pits, and now Larsson is really close to Hellen. So again here the pit stop seems to have changed the positions, not really the positions, but the distance between the racers. Hellen in 18 and Larsson in 19.
Yeah, and the leaders are in now with Ehnström, followed by Kaukola and Mike Simian. So top 3 is in the pits.
That puts Jack Keithley in the lead. Congratulations to Danielsson Racing here, DHRGP. Finally, they've taken the lead in this race, something they've been waiting for a long time, but unfortunately it's only due to the pit stops, isn't it? And they will possibly lose it once Keithley has to go into the pits himself. But what the heck, they're in the lead, and that's always a great moment for a team, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know what has happened with John Westerlund, but he has been in the pits again, so maybe some problems in the pit stop, not filling the tires or refueling, or maybe he just made a mistake on his outlap, but bad luck for John.
Oh dear. Oh dear, Ehnström is out of the pits again. And so is Kaukola. They're still, well, they're in position 6 and 7, but still close to each other. And then Tim Brook is now in 8, but I think he hasn't pitted yet. Mike Simian is out of the pits in 9, and Fredrik Tackman is out in 10. And Skripczak is out in 11, so the leaders have all done their pits now, and let's see once the others go in how the field then rearranges itself in the original order. It's Keithley now is still in the lead, and I think we should give the guy some airtime. He deserves it.
Yeah, and I can just inform you again about Ehnström pulling away a little bit from Kaukola, another 5 seconds, so it's now 7 seconds between those two.
Ah, okay, so the pit stop strategy worked to his advantage again.
Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
Sorry, so the pit stop strategy worked to his advantage again.
Yep.
And now it's Keithley going into the pits, and let's stick with Keithley in the pits. We can actually then see the other guys moving past, and poor Jack. At this point he loses position number 1, and it's one of the Project D racers actually leading the race now. Keithley down to 2. He's now down to 3, down to 4, as I think Ehnström has just passed him. Yep.
So Sebastian Levy is in the lead right now.
Yep. And Keithley all the way down to 10, but that of course is because some of the guys who were behind him have not pitted yet, but there is somebody right close on his heels, and that is Johannes Norberg of the Black Visors. He's much too close for comfort for Jack Keithley, and as they both leave the pits now, they're both passed by the second of the Project D racers, must be Grigory Shugoti then. And Keithley now fighting to keep Norberg off his back. But we've seen Keithley before, and he's a real wizard in the first 1 or 2 laps out of the pits.
And there is a huge fight going on between P5, 6 and 7 now with Tim Brook, who hasn't pitted yet, but behind him we have Mike Simian, and behind him we have Fredrik Tackman.
Yeah, and just as you're talking, Simian gets past, and Tackman tries to squeeze past too, but he doesn't. And why should Brook give up his position here? He's in it for the race. He's not, the fact that he hasn't pitted yet doesn't mean he can't fight for position, and he does so in the best fashion possible. But now he is running wide a little. Don't think that was on purpose to let anyone get past, just missed his break point. And now he has to defend against a Corvette coming in there. And but that Corvette is Westerlund, who's a lap down. So Skripczak is the guy he's fighting. That's the next of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs races. Let's see if Brook goes into the pits now, or if he stays out and really has a completely different, he certainly has, to all the other guys on track. If Westerlund passes him now, he'll be in some trouble with the blue flag, so he doesn't. And rather it's Skripczak who also goes past Westerlund. Westerlund is now in a pretty bad... Ooh, and now here's the attack. Here's the attack by Skripczak. He moves past, and Westerlund, the poor chap, has to stay behind, because if he moves past, even if he could pass Tim Brook, he will be blue flagged at once. And so one of the few little problems that still remain in the game here is that the blue flags don't recognize whether a guy who's a lap down is actually faster than the guy in front, and can then pass him and move away. But I think that would be hard to realize for a real-life marshal as well. Now Brook has made a mistake, and this will give Westerlund a chance to move away from the blue flags, I suppose. So Brook, it looks as if his tires are shot, and I would bet that we will see him pitting now.
There are a lot of fights going on the track right now, with a big battle for P9, or sorry, P7, with Jack Keithley and Johannes Norberg, as well as the fight ahead of them.
Yep, agree with you. Keithley Norberg, that's really close, and I imagined Keithley would be able to pull away, but he hasn't. Norberg sticks to his guns here, and is following him right closely. Keithley, of course, with the well-deserved number 1 on the racer, because they are the defending champions, DHR GP, but with the race result as it is now, with the standing as they are now, Ehnström taking another win for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual, they will be very, very hard-pressed in the last 3 races to defend their title, won't they?
Yes, they will.
And on the doors here of the blue and black Corvette, we see Tor Qualman.dk, that's one of their racers, a guy from Denmark who's also active in real-life racing, so that's his website. Go and visit it, it's really interesting about his real-life racing experience. So we have many of the guys who are actually racing in real life. We have David Greco, who's racing in real life. We have Tor Qualman, and the Danielsson guys, they have a whole team in real life, Danielsson Motorsport, and Virtual is just the virtual branch of the two, and they actually from time to time swap cars, don't they, from virtual to real?
Yeah, and while you're at the subject, I made a really cool interview with Jan Westerlund, the team manager for the virtual side of the team, and you can find that interview on simracingteamchallenge.com. So, yeah, a fun rig.
Yeah, let me congratulate you on that interview. It's perfect. Really, you get lots of information about that fascinating team, and people should really read up on that and follow that team closely. It's well worth it.
Oh, and you also missed David Garcia, who was racing go-karts before when you said people who race in real life.
Yep. And now Norgren here really putting a lot of pressure on Keithley. Keithley has to hit the curves from time to time just to defend his position. And notice how he goes into the turn here, really kind of like throws the virtual Corvette into the turn. Much cleaner lines by the BMW. It's what we said at the beginning, that the Corvette really seems to be ill-fitted for this track. Much too wobbly.
Yeah, and they're coming into this really difficult last corner. But both teams have handled it really well.
Yep. Especially Keithley, he has awesome exit speed. No chance at all for Mr. Norberg to catch up on the straight here. I think the pits have been done, so let's walk through the field the first time tonight and show the guys where everybody is, shouldn't we?
Definitely.
So it's Mr. Ehnström still in position number 1, still leading the race, and now after the pit stop he has finally gained the lead he has been waiting for all the time. And as we go through the grid, you can now see how far apart the guys are. Ehnström in 1, Rami Kaukola for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 2, Mike Simian for the FlatOuts in 3, followed closely by Fredrik Tackman for Danielsson Motorsport Virtual in 4, Marcin Skripczak for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 5, Jack Keithley in 6, Johannes Norberg still following him in 7, Sébastien Levray for the Project D in 8, Johan Pesula for Danielsson Motorsports has moved into the top 10 with a great and steady race. He's in 9. Lee Ross for FlatOut in 10. Damien Dainhumain dropped down a little to 11. Mikael Helen for the Black Rebels, great race by him too, he's up to 12. Christopher Larsson, he's in the unlucky 13, but I guess he's pretty happy with that result. A great race by him too, and still has Mikael in his sights. Tim Brook for the DHR Fanatec in 14. Wietse Visser, another Black Rebels racer, in 15. Paul Bordeaux, the first of the GG Ferraris, in 16. Dropped down a little, I'm afraid. Lee Downham in 17 has firmly recovered from his little off moment we watched before. Still has a dent in the rear though. Adam Shaw, the first of the FlatOut Juniors, in 18. Grigory Chogoty in 19 for the Project D. Rudolf Morin for Team GG in 20. John Westerlund, who had some trouble at the pit stops and is the biggest loser so far of the race. Poor chap. There must have been something wrong with the pit strategy. Maybe the fuel didn't load or anything. He's down to 21 and he looks as if he is really fighting to get at least 1 or 2 positions back. Konrad Stanchak of the Blue Flag Racing, a solid race by him in position number 22. Ryan Mortimer, the second of the Fanatics of the DHR Juniors, in 23. And Adrios Balnaitis in 24 for the FlatOut Juniors. And Nick Carnell just now pitting for Aney Racing, still racing in position number 25, and I think this is the last guy still in the race. Well, let's go to that fight there with Keithley then. Was it for position 4 and 5 or for 5 and 6, Andreas?
It's for 6 and 7.
And there you go, my bad, and it's still Keithley in 6 and Norgren in 7. Now they're both lapping Christopher Larsson. Larsson here taking a wide line. No, sorry, it's not Larsson, it's Konrad Stanchak. Konrad Stanchak for Blue Flag Racing, and taking a little wide line there so they both can slip past. But Keithley, I think, gained a little from that maneuver, and Norberg is now not quite within striking distance, I would say, isn't he?
No, not yet. While you were running down the field there, I'm pleasantly surprised that there is still 25 drivers in the race, which is really, really good.
Yep, I think it's a bit of a record for us, isn't it? Usually we have something like 22 racers at this point in the race.
Yeah.
Don't forget, for example, at Rouen, I personally finished 15. That was not due to my overtaking many people, but just to, people dropping out. Because they encountered some problems along the way, and seems that Mugello suits all the racers.
Yeah, despite it being very, very difficult and slippery, it seems to be a good circuit for most of the drivers.
Yeah, it's one of these tracks like Suzuka that really, once you find the rhythm, you can keep it up for quite a long time, can't you?
Yep, definitely.
Norberg, I think by now he really hates that Simboot sticker on the back of Mr. Keithley.
Yeah. Well, he needs to push a little bit harder to make the pass, I think. But the question is, can he push harder?
It looks as if both of them are really absolutely on the edge. I mean, it's usually the guy who's in front who's a bit more on edge, and if I see this correctly, it's Keithley who's, taking the curves a little bit more aggressively and going a little sideways into the turn a bit more often than Norberg. But so far it has worked out. He stayed in front, and Norberg, he's not really within striking distance. He's following closely, he's putting on the pressure, but at this point at least Keithley is in control. So, looking again for the fights all throughout the field, and that's what I really love about the STC. There's still hardly hardly a minute of racing where you don't have like 2 or 3 guys really slugging it out for position. And right now we are in position number 14 with the Black Rebels' very own Visser, and he is trying to defend his position from Tim Brook, who unfortunately seems to have lost some positions there. He's now in 15, and he is, you know, showing his racer to the left, to the right, but Visser is showing perfect control of his lines here, and so far Brook hasn't had a chance to get past. And now Visser taking a slightly defensive line here into turn number 12, Corentayo, and Brook is now on the wrong side. He should be on the left side, but he's on the right. But now they are approaching that turn that both Andreas Hultner and me like very much indeed. Let's see how these two get through.
I think Brook is having a much better car at this point. He's pitted way later than everybody else, and I think it's a matter of time when he gets past Visser.
Look at your teammate. He's on the right hand side, really touching the grass. It's what I would call the ultra defensive line here, and it seems to work. Brook has to try his chance on the outside, and there's absolutely no way you can get past here on the outside. But he is really close on the exit, and approaching the next turn, Visser gets past again and stays in front. But I agree with you. He should have something like 4 or 5 laps worth of fresh tires, so he should get past either this lap or the next. But I can tell you that Visser really knows what he's doing.
Yep, and Paul Bordeaux for Team GG is getting closer and closer as well, so it might be a freeway battle.
Yep. They're losing time, the two, because there's so much concentrating on each other on the moves. Also trying not to make a mistake here. Touching the other guy would be awful to spoil that great battle. And so yes, Bordeaux taking advantage of that and getting closer. But right now, Brook is almost touching Visser in the back there. That's that slow left-right-hander. And they're now again approaching Corentayo.
It's taking a defensive lap again, and they almost touched this time, but you can see he's managing almost to stay on the outside there, Brook.
Yep, and now he's passed. What a brilliant move there by Tim Brook. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, Visser was doing everything he could possibly do without being unfair. Yes, defensive line indeed. And then Brook managed to stay on the same level on the outside, and then we had a left-hander coming up, and he was suddenly on the inside. Great move by Tim Brook, but it cost him a lot of time. And look at this. Look how much distance he has gained already after that move.
Yeah, he's flying away now.
One of the things that happen, isn't it, that if you defend so much, it's bad for your tires, isn't it? And so Visser might have to pay for that battle later on. Some 10 laps down the line, the tires might be shot.
Yeah, because basically you cannot pick the lines you want to when you're defending in the way Visser was. You always have to take the narrower line and still try to keep up the speed, so of course it's wearing down the tires a little bit more.
Yeah, I actually feel it's like, you know, braking with the tires as you go into the turn, isn't it? You just push that steering wheel round a little bit more to have your tires kind of lock up by turning in a little bit more as you go into the turns, because otherwise you won't be able to take that narrow line.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the big battles here in the STC, brought to you by the GamePosters.net, by Simboots.com, and also, as we learned, by a fantastic competition based on the R-Factor, and that's the Pipe Speak competition, which you will be able to watch over Christmas. I said you'll be able to watch. Jose, how will people be able to follow that competition? that technician, probably busy again fixing some lines somewhere, plugging in something somewhere, so we have to stay with the race and cannot talk about the Pike Speed competition now. Or are you with us, Jose?
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, I was taking care of some stuff. But people will be able to follow the competition on the website. Of course, with
all right.
laps and videos and everything.
So we won't have like huge RTV because it will be impossible, wouldn't it, to just show the competition for 4 days.
We have a big crash in P17.
Oh, P17 as well. We had a couple of guys going off in turn number 1. The Downham, I think, and one of the Project E cars.
And we have John Westerlund sitting in the sand in position number 20. I can't really see where he is. He's in a tight spot, and I guess he's stuck. No, he's trying to reverse now. He's in P20, so it is definitely not the race of John Westerlund. Sad to say. It looks to me as if that is in Corentaio. That's turn number 12, or the first of the 180-degree turns. He's now trying to rejoin the track. Moving out of the way there as other racers are approaching. There is his teammate. And he's now getting back on track in position number 23. So whatever he regained after that problem he had at the pit stop, he has unfortunately lost again. John Westerlund down 23, but you saw some guys going off in T1. Tell us about it.
No, I think it might have been the same guys actually. I couldn't see the darker car, and it might as well have been John Westerlund's car.
Leading the race from the pole position, which he took with a comfortable 0.6 second lead from Rami Kaukola, is Roland Ehnström of the Danielsson Motorsport Virtual. I think I told you all about his life as a virtual champion. Last time he's won several championships, most importantly of course the VWTCC that was run on site while the World Touring Car Championship was visiting Monza, and he won the title there, the World Championship title. I think it was riding in the virtual BMW, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
And so rear-wheel drive seems to be what Roland Ehnström is especially good at, because here he's in the GT Sports Series, in the STC, and he's still in position number 1. Right now he's going into the last turn on a very inside line here as he's lapping one of the Fanatec racers. And again, Andreas, have you access to live timing and can tell us about the gap to Rami Kaukola?
Yeah, it's very, it goes from 10, or now it's down to 8, but I think that might have been the last car. But from 10 to 12 seconds, somewhere around.
Right, so that really is a comfortable lead. It's not as dominating as the other performances we saw by him. 10 to 12 seconds. If something happens to him, if he just gets a little tangled up in one of the lapping maneuvers, Kaukola might be within striking distance pretty soon. But still, I would call this a comfortable lead, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you need to go off quite big, I think, to lose this.
And just watch his lines. It's just breathtaking. The car just doesn't wobble or doesn't slide. It's just a clean line going into the turns. Right now we're in these really difficult Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2. And I didn't see any even so slight mistake there. And now in the in the tight turns here, Scarperia and Palagio going out on the curves just a little here, but everything is just very, very clean with Roland Ehnström, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he has put it on autopilot and just taken a coffee or something. it looks like it goes on race.
It does. If I would put on my autopilot, it wouldn't look like this.
Maybe.
Notice he takes a slightly different line in the last turn than all the other racers. He actually touches the inside of the turn as he goes in, so he's very close to the inside. Then he lets the car swing out and recovers it just as the turn kind of breaks, and then he finds a really neat exit, so he's the only one who does that line.
Yeah, and it seems to work really, really well for him. And also when he takes the little narrower line, or how to say it, he avoids the problem some people having in that corner.
Yep, exactly. But I don't know, I tried a line like that and it saw me in the wall.
There is of course a possibility as well, but yeah, but he is Roland Ehnström, you know.
Yeah, it might just explain some things, I agree. Well, if Ehnström defends that first position, he will be taking home for his team a whooping, I think, 30 points for position number 1. Wow, even more, 32 points. He took 1 point already for the pole position. There's another point handed out for the fastest lap. We can't tell you that at the moment, but right now he's worth 33 points all in all. Now if you compare that to Blue Flag Racing, my team, we have an overall of 92 points at this stage in the championship, so this guy just takes like a third of our overall points just in one race.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're actually going with the guy behind him, Rami Kaukola now, and following him for an onboard lap.
Oh, brilliant.
And he almost makes a mistake there, going nearly on the grass in the last corner.
Yep, he really had to get off the throttle there. Possibly didn't want to do that. And it just goes to show, I mean, if somebody of Kaukola's prowess has trouble in that last turn, it is a very difficult turn indeed. He's now approaching a Black Rebels Ferrari. There might be Vice, might also be Michael Helen. And trying to get as much exit speed as he can here in turn 1. Now we have that left and right combination, Luco and Paggio Secco. And one of the few spaces really at this passage where you have time to line up your next turn and correct anything if anything went wrong on the exit of the last one. Now the TBR racer leaves some space so we can slip past, and now it's downhill, quite dramatically downhill here, which makes it difficult to take this turn, easy to run off at exactly that point here. And now into Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2, that was the first turn, and now the second one, also easy to get off here if you push too hard. And then the tight ones, Scarperia and Palagio. He really hugs that one there. Interesting line. Now touching both curves on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, and now into that famous T15, which is called Bucine or Bucine. My Italian is awful.
Yeah, you can see he's taken a bit of a different line towards the one of Ehnström's.
Yep, definitely. It's really only Roland in the whole grid who does that line. Touching, I've watched some of the races now, and they all don't do that, you know, touching the inside line of the turn as they go into the turn, then moving out again, and then just throwing the car around from like 2/3 through the turn and finding an exit. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's he's pretty much Rami, that is. He's pretty much following that grayer or darker tarmac you often have in the corners.
Yep, very neat and clean.
We have a fight for position 10 between Johan Pesula and Lee Ross. And I think Pesula has just got past Ross.
Okay, Lee Ross racing for the FlatOut. And Johan Pesula, of course, in the green and black Corvette of Danielsson Motorsport 2. And we are again in T15. It seems that this seems to be our favorite place here in the broadcast. And they're now going down the front and the start and finish straight. So down the front. This is the start and finish straight and passing the pit exits, but Ross is definitely too far away to try and attack here on Pesula. Pesula was up in position number 9 a bit earlier on, so it must have been something that sent him back to P10. And as you say, if he just passed really close now by Ross, he has to avoid contact here definitely. He's way faster than that, so we might see an attack by him. It looks, at least to me, as if Ross has the upper hand a little in this battle, and seems to have slightly more aggressive racing. That is slightly more virtual right. So,
no, I'm not really sure when Ross actually pitted. We saw Pesula being one of the first guys into the pit together with Tackman and his teammate Westland, but I have actually no idea when Lee Ross pitted.
Wait, yep, neither have I. Might be that the tires start wearing off now. We have how much time left in the race? 20 minutes?
About 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm way off time now in the other direction, but never mind. About 10 minutes, so yeah, we're about to wrap up the race here, and now Ross attacks on the inside. Great move here. They touch a little, I think, but he can't get past because Pesula is now on the inside, but he has to take a really bad line. Touch there. But they stay in control. Just little dent now showing in Lee Ross's nose, but he might have some trouble with the suspension. No, he doesn't. At least not at this point. He gets close again. So he's trying everything he can really to get past, doesn't he?
Yeah, he should have been a little bit cooler there, I think, going into the last corner and just try to line up Johan coming out of it instead of really pushing hard into it.
Yeah, that inside line, unless you're called Ehnström, doesn't bode well, doesn't it?
No.
Okay, there's an Amy racer to be lapped. That brings Ross back into the game. Wild slide here by Ross on the outside. So he's really, really pushing hard, but Pesula stays extremely cool under pressure. Close again, very close again. And I don't know how many times Ross had to step on the brakes in the last 2 or 3 laps. He must be quite fed up by now. And let's hope he doesn't make a too quick move. He really is the faster guy at this point, and but it seems that Pesula doesn't make a mistake at all.
He's being quite stable actually. No, I'm just going to say that he's sliding a little bit.
Yeah, indeed, and that means Ross can now try something before T15 or coming out of T15. Let's see. Moving on the inside. Staying close to the inside. Let's hope they don't. No, they don't touch. Whoa! Very close indeed, and now he's in the slipstream, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think Pesula got a little bit better exit from that corner. And the Corvette is fast, you know that.
It's that inside line. You don't really have much exit speed if you take it.
coming up
and they got a
couple of flat guys.
Yeah, and they're actually fighting for position, so they're not gonna, do very much to let them pass. It's Rudolf Morin for Team GG in 21 and Konrad Stanczak for Team Blue Flag in 20. And they're in a really close battle just as well, with Morin now getting sideways to Stanczak. Stanczak defending as best as he can, but Morin slipping. Ooh, and now they touch, and now Pisula comes up to them. That is a very dangerous situation now. Morin off the track. Stanczak lets the first guy slip past. Stanczak lets the second guy slip past. Very well done there by Konrad Stanczak. He stayed cool. There was a little touch between him and Rudolf Morin, which sent Morin off. But Morin is back on. Watch this. He's right behind Stanczak again. So the two other guys could slip past, and these two can rejoin the battle. Well done by all four, I would say.
Talk about raising the pulse a little bit.
Certainly did for those guys. That other fight, Rami Kaukola is down to 3, and Mike Simian passed him. He's up to 2, and Kaukola tries to fight back. Maybe we should move to that fight. And it seems that all the racers are now suffering from heavy tire wear, and it might just be that the Porsche is a little less affected by that than the BMW, the virtual BMW, of course, with Kaukola in 3. Simian in 2, and Kaukola now almost off the track. He just catches it in T15, losing a lot of speed there, and the Fanatec racer you see there is a lap or 2 down. So Kaukola now passing that left rider just as they go into T1, and he has now Mike Simian in his sight. I think that should be the fight of the last minutes here, because it's a fight for podium positions.
Yeah, and Fredrik Tackman isn't far behind these two either. About 3 seconds behind Rami Kaukola.
Yep, and you can just see him. If you follow Kaukola, you can just see him there. He still has to get past that Fanatec racer, but from what I have seen here, that shouldn't be a problem. Very clean racing there. So Kaukola, he's been in position number 2 all throughout the race, and now he's had to relinquish it to Mike Simian. Don't know if there was a little mistake. We saw him having a problem time and again in Bucine in 15, and so that might have been the place where Simian slipped past. I'll tell you what, Andreas, what we really need for next season is both of us have like 20 screens at home, and so we can follow all the races all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we would need some more sponsors, though, for that to come true.
Yeah, or you can maybe buy me some screens.
But my money wouldn't get that far, maybe 1 or 2. And they wouldn't be flat screens either. So, Simian in 2.
Oh, that's okay.
You'll be fine, And Tackman has passed the Fanatec racer, and he's now passing an Amy racer who's also left. And so we can concentrate on following Kaukola, but it looks to me as if the gaps between these 3 are almost the same as they were last lap. And how much time still left in the race?
Just a couple of minutes. 4 minutes to be exact.
4 minutes to be exact, which means 3 laps. 3 laps to go for Mike Simian in 2, 3 laps to go for Kaukola in 3, and 3 laps to go for Tackman in 4. My prediction is that this is the way they're going to end the race. I don't think that in the space of 3 laps unless there's a problem for one of them, anyone can get close enough to make a move. Well, with 4 minutes to go, Andreas, time for a quick final comment already on the racing here at Mugello. What's your impression of the race overall?
A very clean race by all the drivers. Some really nice fights going on throughout the whole field, especially at the outside top 10, but also in the top 10, of course, and an astonishing race by Roland Ehnström yet again.
That sums it up neatly. Not much to add from my side. Mugello, a track that apparently most of the drivers really, for most of the players here, really fancy. We still have, if I'm not mistaken, 25 racers in the race. So I think that's a new seasonal record for us. We only lost one racer due to technical problems at the start, which is a pity. But also, and mind you, this is not ironic or anything, it's the first time that Amy are in the points, and I'm really, really glad about that, because they've been with us for a long time. They've been racing great races, but they've always run into trouble sooner or later, and this time it seems they're bringing home one of the races.
Yeah, they have had some really awful luck this season with the disconnections, and I think they had a really weird problem at the Nordschleife as well, where one of their drivers couldn't even get to start, so...
Well, he could start, but he ran into an invisible wall.
Yeah, we have a big fight between Rami and Tackman for P3.
Okay, so Rami, Kaukola, and Fredrik Tackman, and Tackman is passed. Tackman is passed, so Kaukola has to lose one more position here. That is a shame, really, and that is brilliant news for the Danielsson Motorsports. They now have the number 1 racer and the number 3 racer. They have 2 racers on the podium. It would give them a breathtaking 32 plus 26 points. That's 58 plus 1 for the pole, 59 points. Brilliant result at this point, but maybe Kaukola can fight back.
As I think Roland Ehnström must have entered his last lap.
Yeah, and after Kaukola touches Tackman, but Tackman stays in control, and Kaukola too doesn't even show on his skin that touch he gave Tackman there as they went into our notorious T15, which turns out to be the hot spot of the race, Buccine. Now they're out of T1, and Kaukola is really searching for that grip. His BMW is all over the place exiting the turn, so that means his tires are down, and he is searching for that exit speed, searching for that grip, because if he can't find the exit speed, there's just no way he's gonna be able to get close to Fredrik Tackman. And you're the pit strategy guy. Did Tackman pit earlier, or did Kaukola go in earlier?
Tackman pitted earlier. He was one of the first, I think, who pitted.
So on paper, at least, in theory, Kaukola should have a slight advantage. And now they're again close, going into Arrabbiata number 1. And they're running up to a lap driver, so that might influence the fight for position here as well. No, they've passed them, and now, ooh, very, very close maneuver here by Tackman. And Kaukola manages to not touch him. That was a swervy move there. Now Kaukola tries it on the inside. He tries to take more speed out of the turn. Watch it, guys. This is his second to last chance.
And Ehnström won the race.
Thank you very much. We're still following Kaukola. Congratulations to Roland Ehnström. Congratulations to Mike Simian in P2. Now the last time into that dreaded T15, Kaukola tries something on the inside, but he cannot get past. No, he can't. Tackman hangs on to position number 3, but just barely, folks. Watch this. They're so close. They're so close, but Tackman hangs on to 3 and Kaukola in. Sorry, I was so excited I forgot to press the microphone button. So, Norberg in 6 and Keithley in 7 and Sébastien Livret in 8 and Damien Danielsson in 9. I really got carried away here by that fight between Kaukola and Tackman. And my finger slipped off the microphone button and I never found it again. Danielsson in 9, Pesula in 10, just inside the top 10 then for him. And Lee Ross for the flat out in position number 11. The racers are now all crossing the line here. Mikael Helen for the Black Rebels crossing the line in 12. Didn't get further than that, but still a great race by him. And then the other racers have finished the race too. Larsson in 13, it says here, and Tim Brook in 14. Race is done, guys, and so is my voice. That was a great, great race.
Yeah, that was truly great. And the last battle between Tackman and Kaukola was really, really cool.
And it was vintage STC, wasn't it? We have battles all the way through the 90 minutes. The field is just so awfully close, and it's not only, as you pointed out, not only positions 1, 2, 3, 4, but also if you look at positions like 15, 16, 17, people are fighting for like 10, 12, 13 laps in a row, and really, really close. Nobody touching, nobody making a wrong move, but just very clean sim racing. And now we have, as I'm being told by my guy in control, Jose Estrada, we now have the national anthem of Sweden in honor of Danielsson Motorsport's great win here at Virtual Mugello at the Blue Flag Racing Grand Prix. Grand Prix. And I suppose, if I'm not mistaken, it's Mr. Sim Racing himself, Roland Ehnström, who is with us now. Are you with me, Roland?
Yep, here I am.
Well, quick report. First of all, congratulations, of course, to another outstanding win, but it wasn't as dominating as the last one, was it?
No, it was quite close, especially in the first stint when Rami was on my tail all the way, basically. I think he got a bit better tire wear than me also, so the end of the first stint was a bit nervous, but then in the second stint I saved the tires better, and then it was just fine.
Well, just fine sums up the whole race weekend, so to speak, for you. You also put in an outstanding performance in the qualifying, and we watched that you have a slightly different line in the last turn. Could you explain that to us?
Yeah, I'm making it double apex. I brake diagonally into the corner, so I take an early apex while braking, and then I let the car out all the way to the right, and then I can go full throttle through the second apex and the exit of the corner.
Yeah, we discussed that. You were about the only guy to do that, and it takes, of course, extra skill to not lose the car as you take that second apex, doesn't it?
Yeah, the point is to make the exit as straight as possible. So I make the turn in the middle between both the apex. I make the actual turn. I turn the car around, and then the car is more or less straight through the second apex.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of speed. Well, your mom will be right proud of this win. I had contact with her on Facebook, so she follows your endeavors too, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
So, greetings to Mom from me. Andreas Hultgreen, any questions from you to your Swedish compatriot?
No, not really. I just want to congratulate you, Roland, for a really, really good race.
Thank you, Andreas.
Roland, he was saying his pride of being Swedish because of you. So, maybe you can send him an autograph or something.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
That Andreas was saying he's proud of being Swedish because of you. I say that maybe you can send him an autograph or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry, Andreas, I have to tell it.
That's okay.
All right. I hope also with us, thank you, Roland, for that interview. I hope also with us is the second positioned racer who was, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Simian. Mike, are you with me?
Yes, I am, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, and we watched a great race. We saw you coming back. You were in position number 2 after the qualifying, and then you dropped a few positions, didn't you?
Yeah, I dropped down to 3rd. Just lost it on that first turn. I think Rami just took me on the inside and made a better first corner. And yeah, so I just tried to stay safe and stay smooth and stay behind him. I knew I'd be in with a shout in the second stint.
Worked out nicely. Where did you actually pass Rami? We didn't see it on the screen, though. Did Rami go off, or did you manage to sneak past him?
No, Rami made a mistake, I think, coming out of the last turn. I'm not sure what happened to him. It's pretty unfortunate for him.
Oh, that last turn again. It seems to have been the hot spot of the race all the way through. What about the track as such? We noticed that 25 racers stayed in the race. Is that like a really a track that is difficult to not finish the race?
I don't know. I mean, it's easy to make mistakes, you know, with those corners, and they're all off camber. I was trying to take conservative lines just to stay safe, really, because it's so easy to just run off onto the gravel, and you know, you lose so many seconds. So it paid off in the end. But as a track, it's quite easy and flowing, but it's really hard to sort of keep pushing really fast.
All right. So it's more a track that if you set your strategy on taking it easy, having smooth lines, you'll be fine. But if you want to push, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some people can. I think Roland can push, obviously, but I just tried to stay safe, and it paid off for me in the end, so.
Yeah, congrats to you again, mate. Great race for FlatOut Racing. Second position brings you lots of points, 29 to be precise. And with us now, hopefully also, thank you very much, Mike, is third position to Fredrik Tackman, also for Danielsson Motorsport.
Yes, I'm sitting here.
Well, since he's Swedish too, Andreas, it's up to you to do the interview now. Two Swedish guys, but please don't talk Swedish.
No, anyway, congratulations, Fredrik. Tell us about the race and the pit stop and the last fight with Rami.
Yes, I made a pretty early stop to get off Skripchak's tail, and when I came out, my goal was to save my tires. So in the two big bends in the middle of the track, I really took it easy. So in the end, I saw people getting in trouble with tires, so I could come up to them, and it wasn't really overtaking, but it was other mistakes that made me think Rami had big trouble with his tire at the end.
Yeah, we saw that, but he was still very, very close to you in the last corners. And were you ever in the fear of losing the position?
Yeah, it was a great battle. I all sweaty here, and it was a couple of thousands over the line, so it was a really fun fight.
Yeah, we saw, sorry, Andreas, but
no, you go
we
ahead.
saw Rami very nearly touching you 1 or 2 or 3 times. Was there actually contact?
It was a little contact, but it was my fault as well, because then my grip was so low too, and in the second to last corner on the second last lap, it felt like a boat when I came in there, so I don't know how it looked, but it was really slippery.
Okay.
I want to congrats Roland for a blistering race.
Thank you. Maybe I should also mention that this track, from the tracks we've had this season, this was the first track where tire wear was really a big issue, really important to save the tires. Almost all the race I was saving my tires, especially after the first pit stop.
Yeah, it seems to have been especially difficult for the Corvettes. Possibly your guys from Team 2 could tell us about that. We noticed that the Corvettes had more problems here than on other tracks.
Yeah, the Corvette isn't suited for this track. I mean, the Corvette has had its best tracks like Le Mans and Rouen. Here, it was struggling with understeer mainly. They were talking about.
Okay, so don't ask us at Blue Flag why we picked A, the Corvette, and B, this track as home track, but we just love the track. All right, thank you all 3. It's been great watching you, and time to round up the broadcast, I think. Thank you very much for another very, very interesting evening. Jose, any parting comments from you?
No, yes. Say thanks to everybody for being here, and congratulations to all the drivers, especially, of course, to Roland, but to all the drivers, because they did a great work today.
Thank you.
And
Andreas,
for
over to
good show.
Yeah, thank you, Fredrik. And Andreas, your final comments?
I'm just exhausted. It was a great race, and it was great commentating on it. And thanks everybody for joining the race, and everybody who is watching.
Well, that leaves it up to me to say a really, really massive big thank you again to Jose Estrada. He's been struggling with the technology all through yesterday and all through today, and but as usual, once the race was up, everything was working smooth as hell, and I think we gave you an enjoyable broadcast. Join us again in 2 weeks. It's the Danielsson Motorsport's home race at Anderstorp. I will be on the track, so with you in the booth will be somebody else. Will it be you, Andreas?
It might be me.
Brilliant. See you then, folks. It's bye-bye from me, your friendly voice, Eckart von Glan, coming to you live from Germany, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.